and seated exercises. So the first one we're going to get started with is just your march. So a good place to start is in that marching position, standing or seated, whichever one works better for you. But welcome to Fitness with Familiar Faces, brought to you by the Parks Board. If you haven't filled out a ParkU Plus form in the last year, check it out online, ParkU Plus. Otherwise, we'll just get started with the exercises. So marching is a good way to start. It's easy on the joints. We do each exercise about 15-20 seconds. From that march, you're going to see if you can make that more into a side to side. So into a sideways position, good for your glute muscles, good for your hip muscles. If you're seated, then you want to tap out to the side. That would be the same, seated or standing. I'm going to show standing. Into that side to side position. So whenever you do start with your exercises, you want to start off slow, just something that gets you a little bit warmer. 5 to 15 minutes is a good place to start when you're warming up for an activity. The next one we're going to go into is putting your front foot and just tapping. Once you've started that tapping position, try your palm up, palm down. Tapping exercises are good for people that have knee pain or any type of foot discomfort when they walk for too long. So tapping, or if you're seated, then you are still tapping that foot like gas pedal. Also your palm up, palm down. And now try switching sides. So your other foot, tapping, palm up, palm down. For your posture muscles, people that have more rounded shoulders or a slouch position. So it's like doing a gas pedal if you're seated, or in that standing, palm up, palm down. Yeah, we do everything 3 sets, so we're going to repeat that sequence. So seeing if you can start that into just your march position. This is level 1. Level 2 is making that more into a high knee or a high march. And if you are seated, just stick with your marching position. So high knee, high march, you're going to feel that more in the front of the hips or your hip flexor muscles. Same muscles used as going up a hill, walking in forward direction. Level 1 or level 2, depending on what works best. Yeah. From there, we go into your second exercise. That was your side to side, so going back and forth. If you're using your chair, you just want to tap your foot out to the side and then come back. Level 1. See if you can add a little bit of arm motion as well. A front shoulder and chest stretch. Also used for people that have more rounded shoulders or a slouch position. If you cannot use both arms, it's okay. You can use one arm, or you can try a little bit on the affected side as well for your front shoulder and chest stretch. Yeah. And then into your third exercise, so your foot tapping, your palm up, palm down. If balance is a challenge, stay here. If you want to make it a little bit harder, try your foot off the ground and then tapping. That's a little bit harder to do. That will strengthen your glute or hip muscles. And if you're seated, pretend you're pushing on the gas pedal. Switching sides. So other foot, tapping, palm up, palm down. Or level 2, that foot comes off of the ground, palm up, palm down. So warming up ankles, good for feet and knees. Warming up front shoulder and back muscles with palm up, palm down for posture. So that's our first 2 sets. Now's the time if you need to grab water. We'll give you a minute here. Or if there's any questions, we can go with any questions with the exercise. The sequence is you're marching 15, 20 seconds. Your side taps for people using the chair. And then it's the gas pedal. You can't really see with my foot, but you want to use one leg and you want to go into that gas pedal. One side and the other. So we're going to repeat that sequence for the standing and chair. So going back into your marching. So for the marching, level 1, legs stay a little bit lower to the ground. Level 2, into that high knee or high march. And the hardest variation, there's no shoulder injuries, right here, is reaching up high, opposite arm, opposite leg. That's a little bit harder to do.
Not on yet.
It is. It's going.
Any variation you choose.
And this is our computer right here, but we're not in front of
I gotta mute the people. From there, see if you can go into your side to side now. Back
Can you
and
mute
forth.
them?
Opening and closing.
I think we ate it.
Well, that didn't work.
You keep going. I just gotta mute the sound. You keep going. You keep going. We're going for 15, 20 seconds.
Mute them.
Hi, Diane. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Steve. Okay, perfect. So that was your side to side, going back and forth, opening and closing. And the third exercise we did was your tapping. So one foot goes in front and just tapping that foot, adding your palm up and palm down. Good for people that have type of knee pains, foot pains. Level 1 is keeping your foot off of the on the ground. Level 2 is foot comes off. Harder for balance, but just tapping and going into your palm up and palm down. Then you switch sides, other foot into your tap, and then adding your stretch. So for these days, it's good to do a little bit of exercise every day. Sometimes it's going out for a walk. Sometimes it's just doing these type of stretches at home. Sometimes it's just cleaning your house. It is important that you do some type of movement every day. Yeah, perfect, and then you relax. Next series, you're gonna go into a wide stance. From there, you're gonna reach out and out, reaching and tapping. A wide stance is a stretch for your inner thighs. That is useful for people that have had hernias. And a wide stance helps to strengthen your glute or outside hip muscles a little bit more. And that's useful for people that have more stiffness in the hips. So reaching out and out. Yeah, we do your 15 to 20 seconds. The next one we do is still for your hips. So your feet go planted, wide stance, hands come on the hips, and you want to see if you can add a bend, going back and forth. Wider stance, feeling the stretch in the inner thighs, and if you're using a chair, tall, bending forward and bending back. Sitting on the edge of the chair. Stomach muscles pulled in, and that's for your trunk muscles. Especially important to train those trunk muscles if you're recovering from a stroke. Yeah, and to that last bend. Perfect. The next one we go into, feet come back together. You want to just take a step forward and a step back. Back and forth. This is called quick feet. But this is level 1, just going forward and back. I will show you level 2 on the second set. If you're using a chair, just go back into your marching exercises. Going back and forth. Planting the foot each time. Good for balance to be able to walk backwards. And we're keeping moving so that you get a little bit more of a cardio workout. A bit of a pump for the heart. And then we repeat the sequence for a second set. So we go back into your wide stance. And you want to reach and reach. If you can, stomach muscles pulled in a little bit because you'll train your rib muscles or oblique muscles. If you are seated on the chair, you still want to reach with your arms across your body. So that's the twist and reach. Yeah. Good. From there, we went into that bend. Today, it's wide stance or sumo stance. Hands come back in the middle, and you add that bend forward and back. For side view, the legs are straight, and you just move your hip back until you feel a stretch in the hamstrings. Good for people with lower back stiffness, being able to bend at the hips rather than the low back. So it'll be easier for you to grab things from the ground with this bending exercise. And if you're using the chair, just try bending forward and back, sitting on the edge of the chair. Yeah. And then last one. Finally, we go into the third exercise, which is you're walking back and forth. This is called quick feet. I'm planting the foot every time I step. Option 1. Option 2 is to make it a little bit faster. So it's like you're on your toes of the feet and you want to go forward and back. That is quick feet, level 2. For this one, your heel doesn't get planted. You're just on the balls of your feet. This one's a little bit harder to do, gets you more pumped with the heart, but option 1 or option 2. We go for a few more seconds here. And if you're just on the chair, continue with your marching. Going forward and back. Quick feet. All right, and then you relax. So we still have one more set to do, but this is the time if you want to grab water, if you want to ask any questions, we will unmute everyone here.
Yeah.
All right. So how are we doing so far?
Good.
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 Perfect. So all these exercises can be used as a workout routine if you are just staying home that day. You can use some of these exercises to warm you up before you're doing chores, maybe like gardening, mowing the lawn. If you have to do a big grocery trip, or if you find that you're getting stiff from seated in the day, you can try some of these exercises. All of these videos will be posted on YouTube, so you can always go back to them. Still got another 20, 25 seconds here. Drink some water. If you still want to move, you can go back into your marching, and that's no problem. But just to recap these exercises for the seated If you're using the chair, first one is reaching across and across. The first one if you're using the chair. The second one is the bending, where you sit on the edge, you bend forward and come back tall, stomach muscle pulled in. And the third one is the quick feet. So for the chair population, it's just your marching. So we're going to repeat these three for your third set.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
You mentioned that we can watch this on YouTube. So how do we find you on YouTube?
The email that I sent has the link for the YouTube.
So after the link, there will be like all the sessions that you taught?
Yeah.
You find it there?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do this for a third set now. All right, so seeing if you can go back into your wide stance or sumo stance, and then reaching across and across. Reaching and reaching. Stomach muscle pulled in, so you use more of your rib or oblique muscles. And your wide stance will help strengthen your hip or glute muscles the most. The way you stand can make balance easier or harder. The way you stand can work different leg and hip muscles. So today we're doing a wide stance. Yeah. Perfect. From there we go back into your wide or sumo bend. Bending and coming back. So side view. This is level 1 because the legs are straight. Level 2 is a little bit harder, where you bend at the knees. And this one will help you pick up heavier things from the ground. That's level 2, a little bit harder because I have this knee bend here. Yeah. Perfect. Then the third one we did was your quick feet. So option 1, just stepping forward and back. Planting the foot each time. Option 2, you're on the balls of your feet and you're trying to go as quick as you can, but you have a chair for support as well. If balance is off, you can always grab that chair. Quick feet going forward and back. Yeah. Perfect. And then you release or you relax. So that was your second circuit. Now we go into your third circuit. So 3 new exercises. So for the next one, you're going to see if you can go into a twist. So for this one, your feet will go hip width apart, hands come to the middle, and the stomach muscle pulled in. And you're going to twist your upper body one way, into your middle, and then your other way. Going back and forth. Chin and the hands move together to stretch the low back and to strengthen your stomach muscles. And if you're on a chair, you can still do the same twist. It's just you're seated on the edge of the chair. For the next exercise, we're going to work on balance. So if you're using the chairs, try standing next to the chair, and that will be balance. Otherwise, if you're already standing, you relax. You go into a tandem step. So to show the feet here, you want to go split stance. That's level 1. Level 2 is heel, toe, heel, toe. That's called tandem step. You have the chair there for support, and it's normal for your ankles to shake, but you want to grab something if your whole body starts to shake, because that's when people fall down. So then you're gonna switch sides, whether it's train track or tandem. And if you are if you are using the chair, getting up from the chair and standing is still a balance exercise. Yeah. And then from there, you release. The third exercise we go into is seeing if you can go back into your squat form. So you have the chair there for support, but different options. Level 1, using the chair and just pretending to sit and come back tall. Level 2 is going a little bit further, but squats help with balance, with giving you more endurance when you're walking, and it trains your quad, hamstring, and glutes. If you're using a chair exercise today, you can choose to stand and go for a mini squat, or you can go back into your seated position, into your marching. Yeah. And then you release, you relax. So we're gonna go for 2 more sets of those exercises, but I just wanna see if there's any questions with those 3. All right. Do you have any questions about those 3?
Sounds good for me.
No,
Okay, good. So right now, if you need water, grab it.
Did he hear you?
But you stare straight ahead.
Somebody's.
I got somebody throwing a towel over there.
Kevin,
Yes.
for the squat, do you stare straight ahead? Do you have your head lifted up?
So for the squat, you just want to look straight ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, good question.
Kevin, for the one,
Do those ones for a 3rd set now. Okay, so for the next one, feet wide, stomach muscle pulled in, adding your twist, and then twist. That's level 1. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, level 2 is doing it with your feet close together. It requires more balance. And whenever you work on balance, it helps to strengthen hips, so that if you fall down or get hit in the hips, the muscles are there to cushion. Good for shoulder checking, good for stretching the lower back, and for strengthening stomach. Yeah, can be done seated or standing. From there, you go into your 2nd set of your tandem step. So, level 1, level 2. If your feet are shaking, that's okay. If your body is shaking, then you want to stick with level 1 or at least have some support. If you find this very easy, level 3 is into your calf raise as well. Calf raises are good to do if you have flat feet or have pain in the arch or heel. but that's level 3. So you return and you switch sides. Level 1, tandem. Level 1 is train track. Level 2 is tandem. And level 3 is your calf raise. And if you're using the chair, just standing behind the chair is still a balance exercise. So you do whatever works for you. Especially people that are recovering from stroke, it is important to practice balance. But to practice balance, you have to go in positions that are not stable. But that's why you use a chair or a wall to be near you. And then you relax. Perfect. So the third exercise. That was your squat. So different variations. Level 1 is like a mini squat. Level 2 is a lower squat. And then we repeat these exercises for a last set. So there you're good. You return. Last set of these exercises, going back into your twist. Level 1, feet wide, twisting and coming back. Level 2, feet together. Level 2, the feet come closer together. And level 3 is just combining your tandem, where it's heel, toe, heel, toe. That one's the hardest variation. Chin and hands move together. Yeah, that looks good. You release. Last set of balance. You have the chair there if you need to. Train track. Option 1. Tandem. Heel, toe, option 2. Option 3 is your calf raise. And if balance is very easy for you, closing the eyes will make it the hardest. But only if these 3 levels are very easy for you. Then closing the eyes is the challenge. You switch sides. So from there, you go into your train track, level 1. Nice and tall, stomach muscles pulled in, shoulders down. Level 2. Or level 3. Yeah, you release. And then the last exercise we did for today was your squat. Whether it's level 1, a mini squat, level 2, aiming a little bit lower. If you play any type of sports, badminton, tennis, level 3 is a squat with a raise. That's the hardest variation. You do whichever level works for you. Breathing in when you lower, breathing out when you come up. But for all exercises, you just want to keep breathing. And then last one. Perfect. So grab some water if you need to.